So today is Christmas morning out here in New Mexico by Albuquerque, and I thought I would come out and share my experience with my new bike. This is 2021 KTM 300 XC, and I just picked up this bike yesterday, Christmas present to myself, and thought I would take it out today, just do a little shakedown ride, nothing crazy, and see how it performs in the desert. Beautiful machine. Looks too nice to ride, actually. It's bone stock, still has the tubes in the tires. Haven't touched anything, haven't touched the power valve or idle screw or anything like that. Air pressure in the air forks is factory, like 139, I think. All I did was set the sag, and turning out to be a beautiful day. It's like 40 degrees and sunny. And my front brake is too far away, I can't reach it. There's no engine braking on these bikes. That takes a little getting used to. Third gear, basically at idle. So what I was saying, if you couldn't hear, the brake pedal is not adjusted where I'm used to having mine, so I keep missing it. Combined with not being used to no engine braking, I keep blowing the corners, but I'll figure that out. Suspension feels great. And I'm using, if you can see there, I'm using about 80% of the travel. I haven't touched any clickers or anything. It feels really good. Feels like it sits pretty high in the stroke. What else can I say? Throttle response is great. Brakes are great. Seat is typical KTM, very firm. Although the bike feels extremely narrow. I don't know if they've gotten narrower over the years. My last KTM 300 was a 16. The bike feels very small in between your legs. So we'll continue on here. Beautiful day here. So right there, I felt a little bit of stumble in the power delivery. I was in third gear, kind of gave it probably, you know, going from 50% throttle to 75, and it hesitated just for a second, which is probably why people modify that air. But I don't want to get into changing a lot of settings on this bike. I just want to ride it in stock form. That's why I haven't put any like guards on it really. I did buy a skid plate, it's in the mail, but other than that, I'm going to try to leave the bike stock, leave it alone, just ride it how it is, and then slowly make changes to it. Seems like I really like third gear. I get up into third gear immediately and just stay there. And I also really like this closer ratio transmission. I've had XCWs in the past, and by no means do I think they're a deal breaker with the wide ratio transmission. I think, you know, every once in a while the gear spacing feels a little strange, but like I said, all my bikes have pretty much had wide ratios, and some people it's a deal breaker for them, other people really like them, but I've ridden friends' bikes that all have the close ratio transmission, and I figured out I like it better for the most part. And that's another reason I went with the XC, is I wanted to try these air forks. And I also wanted a bike with a closer ratio transmission. So those were my deciding factors for getting the XC. And yeah, that's it. And the transmission feels really good. Obviously the spacing is really close, but so far I haven't felt like, oh, I'm in the wrong gear, or this gear is not right for this terrain. Third gear is pretty much right for everything. I don't know, something is with these handlebars. I don't feel comfortable with my throttle control when I'm standing, and man, it's just fatiguing my right hand like crazy. I don't know if the bars need to be rolled back or forward, or I don't know, more experimentation. I think maybe the bars need to be rotated forward just a little bit, because I feel when I'm standing I'm gripped too high on the throttle and I'm giving too much gas, like it feels like it's gonna whiskey throttle. So maybe I got to roll them forward so my hand's more at a natural position instead of being cranked up here. That would be my guess. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to stop and I'm going to adjust those bars down, rotate them forward just a little bit, right now and see if that makes me feel any better. So I rotated my bars just ever so slightly forward, but more importantly I rotated the throttle tube forward, so my wrist is at a more natural position when I'm standing instead of being way up here and not having the throttle control that I want. And we'll ride a little bit more and see if that feels better. So yes, that's much better control. Might even could stand to be moved more. That's much more what I'm used to. I kept wondering, like, why am I almost looping this bike out after every whoop? And that's why the throttle tube was just put on just a little too far back for my liking. I love how I can just ride this bike in third gear pretty much all day long. That's a pretty awesome attribute. Yeah, I don't care what bike you're on or how good or bad of a rider you are. There's just something about riding out here, doing some whoops, getting a little speed. It is just so fun, and it just empties out your mind. Like, you don't think about anything except what you're doing. And that is the beauty. That's the beauty of riding. I just love it. Whether you're fast, I mean, I know a lot of people are caught up in trying to be fast or racing, and that's cool if that's your gig. It's not my gig though. I just enjoy being on two wheels and riding and looking at the terrain. And, of course I like new machinery just because I like technology and I like to see how they evolve. And it's just great. I just feel lucky that I can do it. Hope you guys are out there enjoying what you enjoy today as well. Like those whoops, they're over my head. I can't go fast on them, but it's still fun to ride them. So a little bit of history of why I was very, very close to buying a Yamaha 250 FX. It's a great bike, gets awesome reviews. You know, plenty of power, especially for someone my weight, and really good for this type of riding, desert riding. And I almost pulled the trigger on it, and the only reason I really didn't is I have a 450 KTM, 4-stroke obviously, and I just didn't want to have two 4-strokes. There's just something about a 2-stroke that is just so fun to ride. I wouldn't dare say a 2-stroke is better than a 4-stroke, because I don't think they are. They are in certain situations, and 4-strokes are better in other situations, especially like the desert. But the 2-stroke is just so fun to ride. They feel light, whether they're light on a scale or not. They feel playful. They smell good, sound good. They're just a different riding experience. So even though my 450 is probably arguably better for out here in the open desert, this bike is just so much fun. I've only ridden it, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours or something. But they're just so fun. They're just so nimble and playful, and they feel light. So that's why I ended up with this bike. I really wanted to try a Yamaha. It's been about, I don't know, 15 years since I owned a Yamaha, and I really wanted to try one again, but I wish Yamaha would get out of the Stone Age and update their 250X, you know, and bring it up to modern standards, and then I would have bought that bike. But anyway, ended up with another KTM. It's probably like my, I don't know, 8th or 9th KTM. My wife rags on me. She says I'm a KTM fanboy, which I'm not. I don't think they're the end-all be-all. I went on a big Beta kick for a while, and Beta's a great bike too. I think all these bikes, you know, are really, really good. You can't go wrong no matter what you choose. I just so happen, you know, they had one of these in stock. I've bought a bunch of bikes from this particular dealer. They treat me pretty good. So again, I almost bought the Husky. I was very, very close to buying the Husky TX. I preferred the look of the Husky over the KTM, but between the two dealerships, the Husky dealer basically wouldn't deal on the bike at all, and it was about $1,100 more than what I got this bike for. So I figured, you know, basically they're essentially the same bike. I'll save the 1,100 bucks and get an orange bike. So that's why we're on a KTM. So I have no idea where we're at. Never ridden this track before, although it's really good. I'm kind of hoping I can find my way back to the car. We'll just head towards those mountains. I'm sure I can figure it out. Right now we're at 19 miles. To adjust the power valve or the idle screw for that matter, at least not yet. They might have fixed those problems in 2021. I don't know, but the bike feels great to me. Plenty of snap, plenty of power, maybe arguably too much power for general trail riding. Suspension feels really good. You know, I'm sure I'll tweak it here and there, but not until I get my tubeless and I get my tire pressure set, so I'm not going to touch suspension yet. But yeah, the bike is super fun, very comfortable to ride, very easy to ride. I mean, you can lug it around. Like right now I'm in 3rd gear, like barely moving, and that's the beauty of these 300s. What else was I going to say? Of course, everyone knows these new 2-strokes, they don't vibrate at all. And that's true, they don't. There's no vibration at all. I don't think you would even know you're on a 2-stroke if it wasn't for the sound and the light feeling in the front end. The front end feels really light, playful. Yeah, so far, it's a fantastic bike. It's a lot of fun. Very versatile. You can trail ride it. I'm sure you could race it. Yeah, very, very, very pleased. It's a lot of fun. got it wide open yet. I run out of real estate too fast. I don't know where to go. Let's go play in the sand. Keep in mind, I'm a horrible rider in the sand. We're at 27 miles right now. Yeah, I don't know how much further I got before I get back to the truck, because I still don't know where I'm at. I'm very happy that I have a awesome wife that not only is happy for me when I go and buy a brand new bike, but she allows me to go out and ride it by myself on Christmas Day. She's an awesome woman, and I appreciate her. I also appreciate KTM. Wait. Almost stalled it. Well, I guess technically I did. Starting to feel a little more at home now on the bike, because I got the handlebar adjusted to where I like it. It feels pretty darn fun in this deep sand. Alright, so I finally found my way back to the truck. Did 36 miles, and I got like 2.4 hours on the bike. And my first impressions is it's awesome. It's an awesome machine. Just little niggles, you know, like the grips kind of suck. You know, they're really firm, really hard. The tires, which I talked about, tire pressure is not right. So, but suspension feels great. There's, you know, the rear end feels a little dancy, so got to play with the shock a little bit. Forks feel great. I brought my shock pump with me, but I didn't feel the need to make any adjustments, and I used about, I don't know, 80% of the travel, so I think that's pretty appropriate. And yeah, I'm not an expert by any means, so it's not like a bike review. It's just my thoughts. If you're on the fence about buying one, I wouldn't be on the fence. It's fantastic. All I did today was sand and double track and whoops, and so for that, performed great. And there'll be future videos as I progress with this bike. We do a lot of rock riding here in New Mexico, a lot of, you know, rough stuff, but we also do a lot of desert. So you'll kind of see how the bike progresses, any modifications I do, which right now I don't really have anything planned except for a skid plate and get the tires situated. And that's all I really feel compelled to change at this time. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you know, go ahead and feel free to ask. I'll try my best to answer them. Take care.